Welcome, welcome. We are crafting today during our lunch break, and if you can join us, comment, say hi, let me know where you're watching from. If you are new to the page, my name is Byrdie Larsen, and I am the owner of Redbyrd Designs, where we make DIY kits, we do custom home decor. I have two memberships. One of the memberships, I teach women how to paint in the online space from the comfort of their own home. And then I also have a membership for a DIY craft box, and that is a little DIY kit that is delivered to your door monthly called the Joy Box. So our goal is to bring you a little creative joy every month. And so that is my introduction. Let me just double check that everything is working okay. All right, so it does look like our volume's good. That's great. That's my biggest struggle with going live, is getting good volume. So welcome, welcome. Alexis, hello. Welcome. Okay. So Saturday we did a little craft with some stuffed hearts, making a garland, a no-sew project. We just used a glue gun to make these cute little like pillow hearts, and they have a little loop on them, and you could string them on a string for some pretty garland. And so I have those up, and I just needed another piece to go with it. And so we're gonna do a little bit of we're gonna do a reverse canvas craft. I don't know if you've seen those. It's where we kind of dismantle a canvas and repurpose it into a little piece of art with a cute little frame. So we're going to do that. Before I get started, I would love for you to give me some thumbs up and hearts for this video, spread the joy, and help other people find my little business, and then please comment and say hi so I can say hi back to you. Okay, so to get started, let's show you what I've got. I've got some different fabric here. I've got some burlap, I've got some cream, and then some pattern fabric. These three here are what I used for the hearts that I made on Saturday. So if you're interested in seeing that, that's available for replay on our page. Just scroll down and you'll find it. And then I've also got this canvas. It was something that I had started with and then ended up abandoning, so it's kind of an old canvas that I'm going to repurpose today. So to start with, I've kind of already started tearing it apart. I'm going to take an X-Acto knife, or if you had a box cutter, I'm going to just cut along the line or edge of my canvas, and I want to cut on the side of on the outside of the staple line. Okay, and so then we're able to just kind of peel away this canvas from the frame. It's really, the frame of a canvas is really got some nice what is the word I'm looking for? Let me turn it over and you'll see. It's just a really nice frame on the other side and looks really pretty when you've stained it. Okay, so essentially you're going to cut off your canvas. Just take a box cutter or a X-Acto knife and run it along all the edges. And then the next step is to tear off the excess pieces, and that, you know, depending on the canvas, that can be a pretty easy task or a hard one depending on how tough your canvas is. And then I'm going to leave the staples, but you could definitely tear those out because really what I want is the other side, and this is the side that's got these really nice grooves, and once we stain this, it's really pretty. So I'm going to leave my staples in. They're pretty flush with the wood already, so I'm not going to worry about them kind of sticking out. If they were already sticking out, you could take, you know, if they were kind of popped up and going to get in the way of us reattaching that canvas, you could take a screwdriver and just pop those out. Here's one that's just a little bit popped out already, so I'm going to take a screwdriver, I'm going to lift it up a little bit more, grab some wire cutters here, and then just pull that out. The rest of them are pretty good. Let's see, I might be able to get this one out. It's sticking out just a little bit. The corner ones are the ones that stick out the most after tearing it off, just because they're you know, stapling down multiple pieces of that canvas. Okay. So we're going to put this aside. And another thing I want to point out to you is when you buy a canvas, and if you want to do this project, you could definitely repurpose an old canvas that you have, an old piece of art maybe you didn't like. But also you can get like 8x10 canvas at the dollar store, or if you wanted to go larger, you could get them at the craft store. And when you get a canvas, it's typically pre-primed or pre-gessoed, and it's got a nice white finish. If you look at the back of it, it's got this really great brown texture, and this is what the canvas looks like before they pre-prime it. And so this is really what I'm going for. I want this linen look, and so I'm not worried about what's on this side. It was an old project that got abandoned. This is the side that we're going to use in this project today. All right, so let's flip this over, and I'm going to use some antique wax from Waverly, and this stuff you can get at Walmart. And I believe it's, oops, ooh, I got too much there. Specific to Walmart. I think you can get it on Amazon, but I've never seen it at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or anywhere like that. Waverly Inspiration Wax in the Antique, and it's a water-based wax, so it cleans up really well. Okay, to apply it, I'm going to use a baby wipe. And I'm just going to use this like a rag. I'm going to bunch it up. It's nice because it's a little bit wet, so it's going to help me apply this wax a little bit more easier. And so I'm just going to dip it in the wax and just rub it on my frame here. You could also just paint this frame. You could, if you wanted to, just use a stain, a min-wax stain of some sort. You could paint it white and then distress it. These reverse canvas crafts are just so cute. I don't know who came up with the idea to dismantle a canvas, but I would never have thought that the canvas frame would have this, you know, this pretty texture in it. could also just head to a thrift store and see if they have any old art that is in their inventory that you could, you know, maybe purchase for a couple bucks, and dismantle it and repurpose it. You could probably get some pretty good sized canvas there as well. Something in a little bit bigger size. So how's everyone's week going? Are you guys all staying warm? Or maybe it's not as cold where you're at. I'm not even sure what the temperature is here today. All I know is it's cold. But I was looking at the 10-day forecast and warmer weather is on the horizon, hopefully. Hopefully that stays true. All right, there we go. So we've got this really great stained frame now. And we could distress it even further. We could, let's just add a little bit of white to it. Grab some white paint, a chip brush, and using a dry brush technique, I'm going to just get a little bit of paint on my brush, not a lot, and then lightly go over it. So it's got just a hint of some white in there. So really light brushing. These chip brushes are great for creating this worn rustic look with a little bit of white in it. It just kind of tones it down, brings a little bit of white in there, and then let's get the sides as well. Frame part is done. So let's bring this back, and I'm going to lay it on the side that is going to be the back, which is actually the front of the original one. I'm going to lay it out, and I'm going to just put my frame right on top here. Press it down and make sure that it's all lined up so I have an equal amount on all sides. I'm going to take my pencil and just come around each edge and trace it. And then we can take some scissors and trim off the excess. Because we're just going to glue it to the back. We're not going to wrap it around. So we don't need all this excess canvas. And I'm actually going to go on the inside of my traced line to cut it just a little bit short so we don't see it from the front. Second. Let's Just make sure everything's okay. And I'm gonna just shoot a quick message off here. Okay. So let's just double check that that's going to fit nicely. We're not going to see any bits sticking out. We've cut it short enough, but not too short. Looks good. Okay. So what we're going to do is make sure that the side coming through is what you want to see, and we're just going to use some hot glue and reattach this guy. Get my crusty, trusty hot glue gun out, and I'm going to put a bead of glue along the top, and then we will attach it. Press. And then on each side, press, and along the bottom. Okay. That looks so cool. I love that linen texture on the background there. You could paint words on there, be mine, or some other Valentine phrase. But now that we've got this, let's set this aside. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer some hearts inside with the burlap and that cream and the other fabric I have, so it matches that garland. So I'm going to set that aside while we cut out our hearts. And let's grab the burlap first. And let's make sure I don't get it in the paint there, the wax. Alright. So I'm just going to eyeball my heart. I don't really care if it's kind of a wonky shaped heart. And let's see, just kind of measure my frame here. I'm going to fold my fabric in half, and then I'm going to cut out this section here so I can work with it a little bit better. So I'm going to cut out my square, kind of the size of the heart I want. And then we can get rid of that. Alright. So we fold it in half, and then let's just cut the side. That's a half of a heart. So I'm going to put my burlap on the back side of this layered heart. That's going to be my base. So this is going to be my biggest heart. So we've got this. Let's grab our frame and make sure it's going to fit. Perfect. It's going to sit in there like this, and then we will layer the other fabric, and then we're going to put a bow here. So next we're going to use the white, or this cream colored, and we will start by cutting our square. And I think I need a bigger desk. So we will lay our first heart down, and I'm just going to messily go around it and get the kind of area that I need. I lost my video. I hope I didn't lose it. Oh, it looks okay. Let's make sure we still have volume. I think we're okay. Maybe just a little glitch. All right, well, if you can still hear me, let me know. Kind of looks like I've lost a little bit, or maybe it just was a small glitch. I'm going to keep going. Okay, so again, I want this cream heart to be a little bit smaller than this. So I'm going to fold my existing heart in half here. I'm going to just kind of trace this out. Okay, so I've got half that heart there, so I can fold it. And then what I'm going to do is cut inside this line, probably about a ½ inch. We'll see how that looks. Just follow it just about a ½ inch on the inside of that line I drew from the burlap heart. And let's see how that looks. So almost there. Let's trim a little bit off here. Right along the top there. And I'm going to trim my burlap heart right here. It's kind of got this wonky little bit. There we go. There we go. I think that looks good. Just a little bit more maybe. So this craft is great for, like I said, reusing maybe older canvas that you have, or finding and repurposing canvas at the thrift store, and then also using up scraps, because you don't need a lot for this. All right, so I've got that, and I was going to do this. This is what I did one of my hearts with on Saturday, but I think I'm going to do this darker red. I think that will give us a better contrast, although my ribbon, I think it'll be all right. I'm kind of looking, I have my garland hanging up in my office, so I was kind of looking at that to see how I want this to go. Again, I'm going to put my heart down on my fabric and just trace over that, and then we can cut out the area and then trim it up. So we want it to be a little bit smaller than that cream colored heart. So we're making 3 sized hearts and layering them on top. I'm going to fold this in half, cut on the inside of my line to make a smaller heart. And see how it is. Let's go just even smaller. Perfect. All right. So let's bring this back and see how it looks together. There we go. What do you guys think? Cute, cute. All right. So all we need is our glue gun, and we will start by placing our first heart, and it's kind of in the area I want. Let me make sure it's even. Just a dab of glue at the top, dab of glue at the bottom is really all we need. And I'm really wanting it to kind of bunch up along the sides, and so I'm not going to come and glue at the very ends here. I'm going to let this kind of be ragged and maybe curl around the heart that I'm going to place down. Okay, and so then let's lay this one in. Get it placed where you want, and then just a couple dabs of glue all the way around. You don't need too much glue. It's not heavy stuff, so it's not gonna fall on you. Okay, and then next, just a couple dabs here and there. And then wherever you see the need for extra glue, you can add that. So if your fabric was folded and you have some wrinkles in there, you can glue those down. I did not pre-iron my fabric. I got just a little bit of a, there we go. So we could call it done right here. This is super cute. I love how this is, you know, frayed. You could even fray up this burlap a little bit more, which I think I'm going to do. So I like the look of that kind of old frayed burlap. And then you could, so I'm just taking my finger and kind of just running my fingernails along the edge of that and kind of fraying those edges here. And we got just a little bit of some extra heart here. Let's trim that off. There we go. So like I said, that's it. We could be done with this project. This is super cute. It's gonna go great with that garland we made on Saturday. But let's take it just one step further and create a little bow on the top here. And so I've got a bunch of different ribbon that I'm going to create just a messy little bow with. Let's see, let's add some of that and just some fun maybe black and white stuff. Okay, so a messy ribbon, let's put that aside. And do I have some? my jute. You can't make a bow without jute. And then where'd my scissors go? I'm all over the place. Alright, so I'm going to just cut a little bit of this. This is going to tie all my bits together. And I'm going to start by grabbing this polka dotted. And we will cut, I don't know, about 6 to 8 inches. And we are going to dovetail the ends. So I'm going to fold that ribbon in half and then cut from the fold out to the end, and that gives us a really nice and even dovetail. So we've got that. And let's do 2 of these. Let's do 2 of each so we can create this really fun layered bow. Okay, so we're going to create this X here. And then the next one, let's do this burlap with the black stitching. We're going to go the same length, about 6 to 8 inches, and I'm going to also dovetail both ends. And then layer that down, creating that X. And creating that X really is going to help us in the end to fluff our bow and make it look more fuller. So there we go. And then let's put some red in there. This one we're going to go just a little bit shorter, just a hair shorter on this. You want your base pieces to be the longest, and then just kind of gradually get smaller as you build your bow. The more layers of ribbon you have, the fuller it will be. And this is also a great bow for using scraps because it's just strips of ribbon. Let's put the cream in next. Cut 2 pieces of that. And this is small enough that I'm not going to dovetail, I'm just going to cut it at an angle. It's a little bit easier that way. We'll layer that down. Maybe just add some contrast with this black ribbon. It's black and white. Again, it's small enough that I'm not going to dovetail. I'll just cut it at an angle. And then we've got, what else do we got here? I've got this lace ribbon. Cut that end off there. I've probably had this ribbon for years. I tend to hoard ribbon and don't like to use it because it's so pretty. And and then I've had ribbon for a really long time. I'm going to put some of this bright red in. Just keep adding. Make this bow really full. Let's see, what else do I got? And let's just end it with some of this buffalo plaid, this really thin stuff. So who's a ribbon hoarder, or maybe some other craft that you just really like to buy but don't like to use because it's so pretty? I can't be the only one. Okay. So we've got a nice, got a nice stack of ribbon here. So I'm just going to grab it and try and fold it so it's bunched up like this. I'm going to take this jute, pick it up, wrap it around a couple times, flip over my bow here, and tie it from the back. Give it a good squeeze. I love using jute to tie my bows because after one squeeze it's really nice and tight. It stays tight and just doesn't come loose because of the fibers in it. So it's great for that. Alright, so look at how cool that looks. All we have to do now is just kind of tug at the ribbon here and kind of move it around, pull it apart, fluff it up, and that is our fun, messy, scrappy bow. And then you can also then maybe cut some of the pieces that are a little too long. This is going to really, I think, give this art piece just a little bit more oomph. So I'm going to give this a quick tie, a second tie in the back, just to kind of secure it, and then I'm going to cut these. Actually, let's leave the tails. The tails would look pretty. Okay, and then we're just going to grab our glue gun, put a dab of glue up in the corner here, and we can fluff it more as it's there. So some of the ribbon had wire in it, which is always great to use when creating bows because it allows you to really fluff up, and the wire helps hold it. But I didn't have wire in all of them today, but I still think it turned out okay. What do you guys think? Make sure you can see it. We've got these tails here we can trim off. You could also add raffia to this, would really make it cute and kind of more whimsical. So there we go. So let me grab my hearts that I have in my office. So this is what we made. We made these hearts on Saturday. Like I said, I have them hanging in my office, and I have this shelf that was just kind of bare. So these will hang below, and this will go on top and give me that, just that little bit of Valentine decor that I needed on the shelf. And it used recycled, gave me a use for that canvas that I had. So let me see if I see anything. So that's all I had today. If you make one, I would love to see it, and make sure to post it. You can post it in the comments here. You can send me a picture. I love seeing all your guys' creations, so do share them with me. And you can also post them in our Facebook page or tag us in your post. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this craft. I hope you attempt it if you have some canvas laying around. And let's see, just make sure. Okay. Anyways, I will let you get back to your day. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. If you're catching this on the replay, comment replay. I'd love to see who's able to watch it at a later time, and I will let you guys go. Thanks again. Have a great week. Bye.